Ethan Cross had learned how to control boardrooms, markets, and men worth billions. But nothing in his life had prepared him for controlling silence. The silence of a 6-year-old child sitting beside him on a long-haul flight. Lily Cross rested her small head against the airplane window, her breath uneven, her stomach quietly growling. Ethan noticed it immediately. He always did. Ever since her mother passed away 3 years ago, Ethan noticed everything. He was a billionaire, yes. Founder of a global tech empire, yes. But before all that, he was just a single father trying not to fail the one person who mattered most. "Daddy," Lily whispered, barely audible over the engine's hum. He leaned closer. "I'm here, sweetheart. I'm hungry, but I feel sleepy." Guilt hit him hard. The morning meeting had run late. The airport rush had been chaos. He had promised himself he'd feed her properly before boarding, but life didn't care about promises. "I'll get you something soon," he said softly, brushing her hair back. She nodded, trusting him the way only a child could, then closed her eyes again. Ethan pressed the call button. No response. Minutes passed. Then something happened that changed everything. A flight attendant, young, calm, with tired but kind eyes, knelt gently beside Lily's seat. "Hi there, Angel," she whispered. "Are you hungry?" Lily nodded slowly. "I have something special for you." She returned moments later with a small tray, warm oatmeal, cut fruit, and juice. Ethan opened his mouth to stop her, to explain, but something made him stay silent. He watched. The flight attendant sat beside Lily, patiently feeding her spoon by spoon, smiling every time Lily opened her mouth like it was the most important job in the world. "There you go, good girl," she said softly. Lily smiled for the first time that day. Ethan felt his chest tighten. This woman didn't know him. Didn't know his net worth. Didn't know his name would make headlines. She saw only a tired child. Other passengers noticed too. Conversations quieted. Phones lowered. A few people smiled. Ethan turned away slightly, blinking fast. He hadn't cried since the funeral. But something about this simple, unpaid, unnoticed kindness broke through walls money had never touched. When Lily finished eating, she fell asleep peacefully, her hand still clutching the flight attendant's finger. The woman gently tucked a blanket around her, stood, and finally looked at Ethan. "She's a sweet girl," she said. "You're doing a good job, Dad." Then she walked away. Ethan sat frozen. She had no idea what she had just done. And she had no idea what was about to happen next. The plane began its slow descent, the seatbelt sign chiming softly. Lily slept peacefully now, her small chest rising and falling, oatmeal smudged faintly at the corner of her mouth. Ethan gently wiped it away with his thumb, his hand trembling, not from turbulence, but from emotion. He couldn't stop replaying the moment. The flight attendant's patience. Her softness. The way she treated Lily like she mattered. Not like a task. Not like an inconvenience. Like a human being. Ethan Cross had built an empire by recognizing patterns, market shifts, human behavior, opportunities others missed. But this? This was something different. This was goodness with no agenda. Fog a quiet conversation. As the plane taxied toward the gate, the same flight attendant walked past again, pushing the beverage cart. Her name tag read Maya. "Excuse me," Ethan said quietly. She stopped instantly. "Yes, sir? I just wanted to say, thank you. For my daughter." Maya smiled warmly. "Of course. She reminded me of my little sister. Long flights can be hard on kids." Ethan hesitated. "You didn't have to do that." She shrugged gently. "Sometimes people just need someone to notice." Those words landed harder than any business deal he'd ever closed. "Are you always this kind?" he asked. Maya laughed softly, almost embarrassed. "I try. It's not always easy." This job, people yell, complain, forget you're human. But I remind myself that everyone's carrying something. Ethan swallowed. So are you, he said. She nodded, surprised by his insight. Yeah. I am. Before she could say more, another passenger called for assistance. Maya excused herself and moved on. Ethan sat there, staring at the back of her uniform, his mind already working not in numbers, but in purpose. Airplane the landing. Once the plane reached the gate, passengers stood and gathered their belongings. A few glanced at Lily, smiling. She's adorable, an elderly woman whispered to Ethan. Thank you, he replied, his voice thick. Maya returned one last time. Sir, we'll need everyone seated for a moment. There's a slight delay at the gate. She noticed Ethan gently adjusting Lily's jacket. You're a good father, she said softly. That was it. That was the moment. Ethan looked up at her, eyes shining. Can I ask you something, Maya? Of course. Why did you do it? Feeding her. Sitting with her. You didn't know us. Maya took a breath. Because someone once did it for me. She paused. My mom worked 3 jobs. When I was little, a stranger once fed me on a bus because I hadn't eaten all day. I never forgot how it felt to be seen. The cabin felt suddenly very still. Ethan nodded slowly. Neither will my daughter, he said. Briefcase the reveal. After the passengers disembarked, Ethan remained seated. Maya returned, concerned. Sir, is everything all right? Yes, he said. Actually, I was hoping you'd sit for a moment. She hesitated but nodded, taking the seat across the aisle. Ethan reached into his jacket, not for money, but for his phone. He opened an email. Then another. Then handed it to her. Maya frowned slightly. I'm sorry. I don't understand. Do you know who Ethan Cross is? He asked gently. Her eyes widened. The Ethan Cross? Crosstech, she whispered. The CEO? He nodded. Her face flushed. Oh, I'm so sorry, I wasn't. Stop, he said kindly. You did exactly what you were supposed to do. You treated my daughter like she mattered. He took a breath. Maya, I started my company with nothing. My wife believed in me before anyone else. When she died, I thought money would protect my daughter from pain. His voice cracked. It didn't. Maya listened, frozen. But you did something money couldn't, he continued. You gave her comfort. You gave me hope. He slid the phone back toward her. I want to offer you something. She shook her head immediately. Sir, I can't accept tips. This isn't a tip. He smiled softly. It's an opportunity. Seedling a life-changing offer. Ethan explained. Everything. A fully paid education anywhere she chose. A leadership role in Crosstech's new humanitarian division. Flexible hours. Full salary. And a mission to design programs that bring kindness into forgotten places. Maya's hands shook. This isn't real, she whispered. It is, he said. And you don't have to say yes today. Tears streamed down her face. I'd been living paycheck to paycheck, she admitted. My father's sick. I almost quit last month. Ethan nodded. Then let this be the moment you didn't quit. She stood suddenly and hugged him, tight, desperate, grateful. I didn't feed your daughter for this, she cried. I know, Ethan whispered back. That's why you deserve it. Girl Lily wakes up. Lily stirred, rubbing her eyes. Daddy? I'm here, sweetheart. She looked at Maya and smiled. Are you my airplane friend? Maya knelt down. I am. Lily hugged her neck. Thank you for my food. Maya broke down completely. Ethan watched, tears finally falling freely. In that moment, surrounded by strangers, he understood something simple and powerful. The richest moments in life don't come from wealth. They come from kindness returned. Globe showing Europe-Africa epilogue, 1 year later. Maya now leads a global kindness initiative impacting thousands of families. Lily still talks about the nice airplane lady. And Ethan? He still flies private when needed. But whenever he flies commercial, he watches. Not for service, but for kindness. Because sometimes, the smallest act at 30,000 feet can change lives forever. If this story touched your heart, remember. Kindness costs nothing, but it can be worth everything.